All right, the same style of action from the ruling party against the opposition, trying to make sure they don't stand. Osun State on the spotlight, Accord Party has a faction. Accord Party crisis threatens Adeleke second term. Do you think he can survive this?
I very much doubt if Adeleke will still be in the government house of Osun State after August 8th, because as it is, if what we are hearing is anything to go by, I don't see anyhow that issue could be resolved between now and August, because when you go to the courtroom where they are now is at the Federal High Court, which is the court of first trial, you will have the Court of Appeal and the Supreme Court before you now say the issue has been laid to rest. What has happened? All from nowhere. Like Adeleke left PDP because everybody agree with Adeleke that he needs to leave PDP at this time, because who will then submit his name to INEC? But I don't know the true state of the matter, whether Adeleke name has not been submitted or has been submitted. What has happened? Because I think before now, all of that has been done, but we are hearing that it's a new candidate, fronting himself as the Accord governorship candidate of Osun State for the August 8th election, and that there's also in the leadership crisis in Accord as of today. Some persons have made themselves chairman and secretary of the Accord Party, and they have gone to court to say that they are the authentic, NWC of Accord Party, not the one that Adeleke is associated with. This is very dangerous for Adeleke. If at the end of the day his faction loses out, that means Adeleke is nowhere in the August game. Excuse me, August 8th election, and that means his dream of re-election is gone even before the election takes place. This is a very dangerous trend.
Philip, we also have a lot of crisis in our hands in Osun State. Not only the fact that he doesn't have a party to run under before he moved to Accord, now the same Accord, the factions have come there. There is also the local government funds that have not been released. From what we gathered, they pay from their pocket, himself and his rich family pay for the local government fund. Now, that one will also make sure, because there are a lot of voters' apathy, people are angry, they're now that of the Accord Party. All this culminating together, why is the ruling party always fingered in most of these things?
It is not that they are being fingered. You see, it's politics. The ruling party is playing their games. It's left for the opposition.
But really, is this real politics?
Well, it's
because politics trying to convince voters whichever way that I'm the best choice, not to try to suppress the opposition.
By the way, it is being played in Africa, as we see it today, is that the ruling party siphon all the opposition, make them to crumble so that they can be the only one that will be standing. But the danger in it is that at the end of the day, it doesn't end up well for the country. We've seen it in Freetown, we've seen it in Gambia, we've seen it in Liberia, we've seen it in up north in Africa,
Cote d'Ivoire,
we've seen it
Angola,
in Kenya, and everywhere. And the African leaders seem not to learn their lesson. They keep on doing the same thing that has kept the continent the way it is, that made the continent to develop. Take, for instance, South Africa today that we claim that is developed. Since the advent of the black man in the leadership position in Africa, in South Africa, they've been on the decline,
economically, even in political wise,
demography. They no longer grow the way they used to grow. So what is wrong with the African man in terms of leadership? Why would you make sure the opposition do not have a say? Why can't you let Osun State alone? Why must you go? You have driven the man from PDP. The man ran to Accord. Few days to the election, you've set fire in the man's new home, just to ensure that at the end of the day, the man had no platform to run. Apart from that, we also hear that as it is today, they are digging out information that the salary, the discrepancies and all that. These are man-made issues to ensure that you find fault against the man, just to find fault to make sure the man do not have peace. This is not the way democracy it is. That is why some of us are saying that, look, Africa has a way of running themselves. We don't have democracy. We can't run democracy because it's not in our blood. Because why do I say it's not in our blood? Because once any man, Even those who claim to be Democrat, when they get into office, those who claim to be activists, when they get into office, we see different human beings. So therefore, democracy is not our thing. I think the African people and the leadership to be thinking of what kind of governance do we need for ourselves.
Now it gets me really worried about our elections in January. As INEC has said, ADC is just sitting on a keg of gunpowder. Do you think ADC will be, because ADC already have a lot of cases in court? ADC has a case that says that they are supposed to be deregistered. There are also factional case in court, Dumebi, and the one that called himself the real authentic chairman,
The
Gombe man. Don't you think this is going to also cripple him? Where is the opposition in all this matter?
You've not even seen the list. If you look at the internet, there are a lot of membership card uploaded in the internet that carry the name of Donald Trump, Putin, and the rest of them as member of ADC. That's already, they have created a platform to discredit ADC as a political party. That what they are trying to say, that whatever ADC is, they are forging document and membership, that what they are claiming they are not there. So it's also is just preparing the background for it to be giving a dog a bad name, so that the court will have reason to deregister it. So I won't be surprised if at the eve of election ADC disregister. I won't be disappointed, because look at what is happening in our court today. We are like on the eve of the Osun governorship election, and now you are not saying that we have two governorship candidates under a accord. So the only party that had a governorship candidate that did not have issue is ADC. That's what we are expected to see in the days ahead. ADC or Osun is being used as a test run, and if they are successful, then what else do you need? You see, it's not going to help anybody. Yes, you may succeed with it. You may succeed today, but after your success, how do you sustain the success that you succeeded in this kind of environment? So I don't see the rationale in all of this, where the ruling party make sure all the opposition party, any party that call itself opposition is in disarray, when in fact they are interested in every office in this country. So if you think you want any office as it is today, you have to move into the APC, or else you will be disappointed.
Well, I don't also, another concern I have is the fact that if we see it the way it is, we may be looking at a constitutional, will I say, review or change from a 2-term to 3rd term. Now, we know that one was dead on arrival during the Obasanjo era. But now, a lot of things have been survived, turned upside down. I fear that these things, because right now the judiciary is not there, the legislature is not there, only the executive calls sway. And look at what we're having in ADC, Accord Party now in Osun State. Do you think they can survive it?
The truth is that, from what we've seen so far, Governor Adeleke's, re-election is in jeopardy. There's no chance, or there's no hope that Adeleke will be in his seat comes after
August
2026, because if he's not on the ballot, how is he going to be re-elected? Whether he is close to the grassroots, whether he has the grassroots support or not, if you are not on
you
ballot,
must have a platform.
So this is not a country where you have independent candidacy. We don't have that in Nigeria. So I don't think what Adeleke can do at this point in time. How is he going to survive it? I begin to to wonder what will be going on the mass head. I think INEC must have closed all the channel of submission of candidacy for the election.
Yeah.
But so what it means is that it has been disenfranchised. It's no longer it's tactically disqualified from the election, because if the date, because they are laid down rules. If the time for submission of names for the election has passed, and there is this crisis, and nobody can say that this is the candidate of a court party. So where does Adeleke stand in this election of August 8, 2026? I don't know.
All right, we want to enjoy the ruling party to help us make sure democracy stands, and also want to say let democracy breathe. We wish Governor Adeleke well, and we hope that the judiciary will do the needful and make sure that they create a platform for everybody to stand election. We'll be right back.